If you want to save money on your trading card purchases, we have a promo link over at 50cards.shop. Enter the promo code @night to get 5% off your order. Hey everybody, welcome to Nexus at Night, your weekly Vanguard podcast, recording in the morning this time. I'm Atlas.
I'm Matt.
I'm Root Beer.
And today, we're kind of like keeping an eye on DBZT Set 3 as reveals are coming out. And I have some concerns. It's almost done, yeah. But like, I have some concerns, and I didn't want this to happen during the set review, because otherwise that's going to, be longer than those episodes already are. So I thought we'd take the time here to talk about some of these in more detail. Call this a companion piece or whatever. But they added Venus Lugier, which I have kind of a fraught history with, like the Silverthorns in general, because they're a very internally consistent set of cards that usually doesn't end up doing all that much. Where it's like, all right, I got a really good board. That's it. That's all I got. So looking at the effect here, during your turn, if you're on continuous on van, if your soul has a Lugier, the original Lugier, she gets plus 5k. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, all of your front row units get plus 5k instead of her. And then act on van. Energy Blast 3, put a card from hand into soul. Choose any number of grade 3 or less unit cards, each with different grades from your soul, column to rear. So that's, objectively better than the original Lugier. Well and good. And then auto on van, when this unit attacks, put 2 rear guards into soul, draw a card, and it gets plus 5k until end of that battle. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, she gets a crit.
Jeez.
It's like,
you can just do this every turn, right?
You need to do this every turn, which means you need that order every turn to get the 4th attack, which is already not that big of a deal to begin with. And it's like,
and you're getting the energy you need every turn, right?
That is true. This is something that can't be counterblast denied like you could with the original Lugier. But it's like, what are we like building toward here? The idea, like on paper, it looks like you would just keep doing this to keep building resources while wearing your opponent down, but just not much. Like, I don't think adding plus 5k to your front row isn't really going to do all that much, Like, she had this same problem back in V, where it was like, all right, call any number of Silverthorns and then put him back in. You get an Excel at the end, great. And then the original one was just calling stuff from Soul and Main Phase. Like, what makes Pale Moon strong as a clan, or I guess in Dark States, is the idea that you can use the Soul as a toolbox to call things out for multi-attack. That's what made the Harry Stride so good. Them taking away Excel circles, like, fine, that's probably for the best game design-wise, but to not take advantage of some sort of multi-attacking and, like, having to run that godforsaken order to get anything done really bums me out.
I don't know. Is this that bad?
It's not a bad card. I'm not saying that like it's complete and utter garbage and won't be played ever, but I'm saying that like it doesn't fix the things that the Pale Moon deck needed to fix. It just makes the original Lugier slightly better at what she does. Burning like a silver flame my ass. Because like, here, the original
Here's
one.
a follow-up question. Does every deck need all of its problems fixed?
As a fan of that particular deck, yes, but maybe in the grand scheme of things, no. Why?
Oh, it's just kind of in the grand scheme of things, like some decks are just don't do certain things well, and that's a weakness of the deck, right?
Yeah.
Just is what it is.
Yeah. But there's a difference between your weakness being like it's got like a low hand size but a really good offense versus like this just turns its wheels until you die. Like the only real improvement I can see that is a big deal is the calling from soul not being tied to counterblast, which is pretty great.
I mean, I think the crit matters.
Yeah.
Because it's 3 to 4 attacks.
Like even this thing's just 23k with a crit every turn, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, you have like a 5k booster that drew 0 behind it. That's not nothing.
Well, technically, it'd be 18 if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, because it says all of your front row units. Oh, okay, wait, including her. Sorry.
Yeah. So it's like 23k with a crit.
Yeah.
Oh, and then she gets another 5. So yeah, it's to be 28, right?
Yeah.
Which is guaranteed 2 cards. So
yeah, like,
and then they just kill you next turn. Oh, okay.
And you're gaining a card because you just eat 2 of the cards you called. And then you can either keep things to intercept or not. Doesn't matter. Who cares?
Right.
Yeah.
And sorry, go ahead.
Like the thing is with something like Pale Moon is like, this is gonna live or die by the quality of your rear guards. Like I think Venus Lukier.
Yeah, froze up. Live or die by the quality of your rear guards. You think Venus Lukier, what?
I think she's fine, right? Like she builds you a board, she draws you an extra card. You're not like really plussing because you have to put a card from hand to soul to like the call to, but like she's getting the crit, and that's already like a decent amount of pressure on its own.
I mean, you can technically call any number. It's not the original.
You just call 4.
Yeah, just call 4.
Oh, different grade. Yeah, so you put a card from hand to soul, you go like +3, and then you like put 2 back, draw a card.
Yeah, so you're recouping the card you lose every time. And the card you put from hand to soul, maybe it's the thing that, just keep replacements up for whatever grades, right?
Yeah. And luckily there's that promo that it's the grade 1 that behaves as a grade 0 when you're calling it. So you don't have to awkwardly call a trigger. You can just be like that, and then 1, 2, 3, bam.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're just like plussing a million, like you get to draw a card to get back, then you put from hand to soul, like you can put important rear guards back into soul against removal matchups, and then you have like the crit pressure. So really, I think like Venus Lukier is fine. You're really just hurting for like competent rear guards at that point.
Yeah, like I don't really see like this card facilitating any weakness. The weakness is all coming from the rest of your cards.
Yeah,
which is fine. This card is perfectly serviceable on its own.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pick up 4 of them because you kind of have to. Like I have the deck sitting on my.
You don't have to. You choose to.
I choose to because I have to, or whatever. I don't know.
They're making me spend my own money.
Oh no! Yeah. So I wanted to talk about the arms cards because I have like a soft spot for that deck, and even though the original like set was just absolutely terrible. But first, Root Beer, you brought up these encounter support cards.
Yeah, so like on a similar subject to like Luke here, because I know the order specifically says you have to call Pale Moon units, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So a big problem is that a lot of the encounter cards like need their specific clan or archetype, and like for the last couple of sets, Bushiroad like didn't print like more clan cards for whatever reason, and so like finally they just started printing cards that like actually specify like the clan that they're just supporting, and I think that's neat. So this one is not one of the cards that does that, but it does support Shadow Paladin as a whole, right? Because it can search top 5. So if you have a Vanguard that's undercover or only Shadow Paladin, you can counterblast ones or top 5 for an undercover or Shadow Paladin. And then if you have like Undercover or Shadow Paladin, you can give it 10k too. So, for one, this card is really good in premium.
Oh yeah,
It just says search top 5 for any. Like in Shadow Paladin, this says search top 5 for anything.
Yeah,
And
this is like the scythe where it's like just take anything that it drops in. Thanks, guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then it's also a 20k beater, which is like not irrelevant. But like, I do want to talk about like so that's like a neat card that I wanted to highlight. But I really wanted to talk about the other like double R cards.
Okay.
So all of them have the same clause where it's like if you have a Vanguard that's only like Narukami, Gold Paladin, Genesis, whatever, that they also belong to that clan. And I think that's something that's really important, and I don't know why they weren't doing this beforehand, because like for Narukami, for example, not Vanquish, Vermilion, like the ride line are all like, okay, you searched like top 5 or top 7, whatever, for either the order or like a Narukami unit, but like they kept printing support cards that weren't Narukami units. So like, oh cool, I like can't search these. And then Vermilion himself gives power, but only to like Narukami units. So there were like a bunch of non-Narukamis that you had to run just to like fill out the deck or serve like certain utilities that like you couldn't boost or search out because they weren't Narukamis. Even like the promo support that's for Vermilion isn't a Narukami. So it's like there's just this little bit of anti-synergy there. And so I'm glad that they're finally just putting the clan onto these cards.
Right. Where it's like, this is not Dragon Empire. This is Narukami.
Yeah, well, it's also Dragon Empire, but that just has the effect that it's also a Narukami unit.
Yeah.
I wish they would just print it on the card itself so you can't just, like, turn it off.
Yeah, Skill Drain. Turns it off. This one is if you have a Vanguard with only Narukami for its clan, all your other rear guards in the same column get plus 5k. If your Vanguard's attack hit 2 or more times this turn, they get plus 10 instead of plus 5. And at the end of the battle, it boosted. If your Vanguard's attack hit 2 or more times this turn, Energy Blast 3, draw a card. Not bad.
I mean, the card is also just really good, but like the important thing that is that it's a Narukami, which means you can search it off of your ride line or boost it with Vermilion.
Right.
So Ezel, I think Ezel himself doesn't care about gold paladins, but some of his support cards do.
I think so too.
So again, this is just one of those like it's a gold paladin, and that's important sometimes.
Yes. Also, that order, I think, makes you grab a gold paladin.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, like they keep designing these encounter cards to like care about their specific archetype or clan, and then just like didn't print support cards that had the clan on it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like really annoying. So I'm glad that they finally decided to actually do that. And then like the Maelstrom support card is just a tier dragon, but Maelstrom specifically also specifies tier dragons. So it's like, okay, well, they got that right at least. It was really annoying when they printed that grade 2 promo that can like swap columns, and it's like, okay, this is neither a tier dragon nor an Aqua Force card. Like, thanks.
Yeah, real shooting yourself in the foot there, guys. Okay, I mean, like the how much of this is just it's important to just have targets, and like it doesn't matter if the effects aren't super impactful. Just like good having targets.
Like yeah, exactly right. Like you've designed these archetypes in such a way that they need like specific targets, and then you keep giving them support cards that aren't targets.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else to say about these, or?
I don't think so.
All right.
There's also the Pale Moon one. I don't know if you care about that.
I do, and I don't. I'll bring it up when we do the set review. Can't reveal anything or everything too quickly. Okay. I can reveal this though. So, the Armed Arm / Silhouette Man deck is one of the most like. If you've ever done a deck profile with a jerk-off hand motion, that's the one that fits that. Because I, throughout the whole thing, was like, this is not a good deck. It's terrible, but I built it for $20, and you can't you know, uh, can't denounce that. So he's getting support in this set, and I wanted to bring it up because it's helpful. But again, I think it has the same problem with that Pale Moon has. So Armed Arms Drill is great too. So instead of R and L, right and left hand, he gets a drill. Auto on Van or Rear, when this unit attacks, put a card with Armed Arms and its card name from your drop into your soul, and perform one of the following according to the circle that this unit is on. So if he's on a Vanguard circle and it's attached to 2 or more cards, so Silhouette Man doing Silhouette Man things, this gets plus a crit, which means your Vanguard gets a crit. Or on Rearguard circle, it gets plus 5k till end of battle. So a lot of people are looking at this and be like, oh my God, this is amazing. It's finally Vanguard pressure, because the whole idea is that because of how the rules work with having multiple Vanguards, if you get like a front trigger, it applies to all of them at once. So like a front is plus 30 or plus 20 instead of 10.
Also, like the big thing is that like the mechanic of attaching gives Silhouette the power of the arms cards. So like attaching 2 cards is an immediate plus 20k.
Yes. So this is like more Vanguard pressure, which he needed. But again, like Matt was saying, it kind of lives or dies by its rear guards.
I mean, I don't think that's true for this deck, right? Because like the attaching mechanic is what the deck is like good for. And then like you get the extra attack by just putting the arms back. So like having good arms cards is what the deck needs.
Yeah. We also got
like I kind of disagree with your impression of these, to be honest.
My impression is it's helpful but not helpful enough.
Like I don't know about that. Like I do think like the drill specifically is like a big thing that the deck needed, which was like Vanguard pressure. It's like a competent enough rear guard. It's not amazing, but it's also not that much different from the other arms.
Yeah, and then like the other kicker with like how the attaching works is because it's never like called, meaning that any power that you put on it is kept.
Yeah,
because you move it. I think I said that during the deck profile too. But anyway, Repair Robot Ronnie is when placed on rear Soul Blast 1, check top 7, choose up to 2 armed arms with different card names. 1 goes in the hand, discard the rest, and shuffle, and then auto on rear when your grade 3 or greater Silhouette in its card name attacks. Soul Blast, retire this unit, and Battle Door still.
Yeah, like I think that's fine.
I think that's
like,
good too.
Vanguard again, like Vanguard pressure, and it's like a searcher for your arms. Like the drill puts arms into soul and Silhouette like Soul Blast. I don't remember if the order also like recycles them from drop.
I need to go back and look because it's been gathering dust since I did the deck profile. And then support drone money is when this is put on guard circle. If you have a Vanguard with Silhouette, look at the top 5, choose any number of armed arms, call them to guard circle. If you do not guard a card, it just gets 5k shield. Not bad.
Yeah. So the order for the arms card, you like put it into soul, and then you take 2 arms with different names from drop and call them to rear guard circle. So like milling your arms is fine.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
And then also this just being like more shield because it doesn't really get a lot of hand advantage. So,
yeah. No, like I don't know what your problem with any of the support cards is. It sounds like they all do exactly what the deck needed.
All right, I'll take it to locals. We'll see how that goes.
Like it's not going to be like an instant meta threat, but like you're saying it doesn't do enough for the deck, and it's like, no, these seem to be doing exactly what the deck needed. Like it gives you more Vanguard pressure. Like it has the Battle Door skill, which is like even more Vanguard pressure. It also searches your arms card, and then the grade 1 is like shield value, which helps to make up for mediocre hand sizes. Like I actually don't know what your problem is right now.
I just want it to be better. That's all.
Where's the arms that says you win the game?
If only. Maybe I just like complaining. I don't know.
I think that's true.
Yeah. If there's one thing that we've learned, yes, Atlas likes complaining. So yeah, anything else we wanted to add about this kind of stuff? Or
Atlas is wrong as always. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah, something like that. I mean,
Yeah. Like, I don't think any of these are going to be like instant meta threats.
nope.
And I understand that's annoying that your deck isn't immediately tier 1, but like for Venus Lucier, obviously, like the thing you just need is better rear guards. And then for the arms card, like genuinely, I think like this is everything you could reasonably give them in a wave of support that like fixes a lot of the major issues, which was like your Vanguard kind of doesn't do anything other than get big. Now it has a critical and like an optional like battle door. You have like additional searching for consistency, and you have like a thing that gives you extra shield value. Like I genuinely think like the silhouette support is fine, even if it isn't like an immediate tier 1 deck.
My opinion is that if you want to play a tier 1 deck, then just build a tier 1 deck.
Yeah, you don't strike me as a pet decker much, Matt.
I had my own, but I was aware of their limitations.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was not going to take them to an event because it could be funny.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm kind of aware of that with Great Nature. Like, I know its problems and that it's just kind of this mid, not like mid meaning like bad connotation. I mean, like in the middle of the pack.
Yeah. I think as the subject of net deckers, it touches every TCG because those people just bounce from TCG to TCG until hoping people listen to them. The kind of the assumption that is people who build like rogue decks that perform well usually spend a lot of time interacting with what the known meta is.
Yeah.
And I think they really fail to understand that if you want to make a deck your own, you could do that, but you still have to have a very good understanding of what other people are playing, which means looking at what other people are playing.
Yeah. And get ready to get bitch slapped by Shiranui.
I mean, yeah, whatever. But like in Vanguard, there's not really a reason to do that because you're not hating out anything. You're just playing something else, in my opinion. Like if you wanted to win events in Vanguard, you just play the best deck.
Yeah.
And that's a start. Obviously, you have to go through, you have to practice and play well. But like pretending that you're gonna like create some deck that counters some other one is unrealistic.
Yeah.
It's due to the structure of Vanguard.
Mm-hmm.
What game do you think has the most what's the word I'm looking for? Most fertile ground for creativity, deck building wise?
Usually Magic, but
Magic.
I don't know about current Magic. I haven't played Magic since before the pandemic.
Mm.
Yeah, and then there's the whole conversation about staples and blah blah blah. I don't know. I don't want to get into it, but anyway.
But again, like Magic has these net decker complainer peoples are always they're just worth ignoring in every game, regardless of the game you're playing, because they move from game to game all the time. Just ignore it.
Yeah, or like now there's like stuff with One Piece and like that's starting to gain ground.
And with like how valuable the prize cards are in One Piece, like of course people are. What?
Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
Right?
I don't know. We've always been kind of like not pro net decker, but just like you do you.
Yeah, it's a good starting point.
Mm-hmm.
Best way to learn a game is just copy someone else's.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with like being a teacher, where like I didn't realize how much you just copy stuff from other teachers.
Oh yeah.
You got there and they were just like, here's my lesson plan from 2006. You can have it. You're like,
yeah, I'll make some adjustments as needed and move on with my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called sharing information.
Yeah, and then ironically, we tell the kids no plagiarism. So that's its own can of worms. I get why.
You have permission to.
That's true. But there's that, and then like we're trying to teach them to have these skills so that they can do that. And like we're not teaching them to plagiarize. Or not trying to teach them to plagiarize.
That doesn't stop them though.
Yeah. Anyway, if you're excited for a DZBT, why is it so many fucking letters now? 03, leave a like, leave a comment, tell us what you're excited for, and we'll let you know in the set review next week, I think, when it's out.
Dear Lord.
Dimensional Transcendence comes out, June 7th.
Yeah,
in
so we get
Japan.
to have the set review next week.
Yes. So that's pretty cool. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Thanks to Darren, Cole, Josh, Jeremy, GR, Ollie, and Tony, our $10 patrons. If you want to support the show, patreon.com/Nexus at Nights. $5 a month or more, you get a whole ass bonus show every week with 2 to 3 of us. You can follow Matt at Widdom's 2Gs 2Zs. Follow Root Beer Plasma Eclipse. Follow me at Atlas Novak and all those other places. It's all down there in the description. So until next time, I was Atlas.
I'm still Matt.
I'm Root Beer.
And have a good night.